The full Monty, ladies and gents. Do you remember it? I'm sure you do. 20 odd years ago now, but I'm sure you do. Well, they're remaking it. I don't know if it's a film or a series, but that part's irrelevant. HUGO SPEER. Do you remember him in it? Again, I'm sure you do. I think he was probably one of the main two guys in it, really. He's not going to be in it this time, is he? Now, do you know about him? I did notice it in the press 6 months, a year ago, but I never really took it in. Again, I've been reading my newspapers this weekend, and I've seen a story there about old Hugo, and I've read it intently, and I just come to the conclusion he's been bulleted really unfairly. He's been treated really unfairly. His wife is standing beside him, which I think is good, I appreciate, and I feel sorry for the fella. In case you don't know, what he's been bulleted for is he's been in his trailer one day, and this young runner, a young lady, has knocked on his door, opened the door without him shouting, "Come in." He's been in a state of undress. She's supposedly been unhappy, but not really come up the stairs, stayed outside the trailer, but seen him naked. He's actually talked to her from behind a wardrobe to try and hide himself. This is what I've read anyway. And she's carried on the conversation, closed the door and gone. That's it, or so he thinks. A week later, the producer or somebody like that wants to talk to him. "We've had a bit of a complaint about you, blah, 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 blah." And he said, "Yeah, it did happen." He said, "But I hid behind a wardrobe. She didn't give me the chance to cover up. She just knocked on the door and came in. I was changing in between scenes. I do it all the time." It turns out further down the line, it's been said that another person, another woman off the set, seen him one day in his trailer with the door open, walk past the door without his towel on. No clothes as well, by the way. But he's saying his trailer's out of the way. He didn't think anybody seen him. He often used to do that in there. But he said, "I've never had anything against me on any set. Nobody, I've never sexual innuendo, none of it. Touching people, doing things to people, none of it. Making people feel uncomfortable, none of it. Misogyny, I think that's when you're awful to women, none of it. There's been nothing against me, nothing against me record." A well-known producer who's worked with him on The Three Musketeers and something else said he was fantastic on site. He was the one that cared for all the other actors and actresses more than anybody else. If they were unwell, he was bothered about them. If they was unsure about the scripts, he helped them. She said he was absolutely brilliant. And I believe up until this stage, he's got an absolutely flawless career. Anyway, the producers pulled him aside and said, "Look, you need a 3-week off. Have a cooling off period. We need to look into this." He said, "But we've got to be seen to be doing the right thing in this current climate." The PC Brigade, they're winning again, aren't they? They're absolutely winning again. Anyway, he's been sent home. He's not told his wife initially because he doesn't want to worry her. They've got young kids and a big mortgage. He's worked all his life, 31 years as an actor, as I say. No black marks against his name. In the end, they've binned him. Turns out when he's seen some stuff, some WhatsApps between the producers and his agents, it turns out they decided to bin him 5 days before they actually spoke to him, or spoke to his agent. The decision had already been made. Given no thing of appeal, or he can't appeal against him, he'd be too big, he'd lose his house, he'd lose everything. All these co-stars of the film can't talk to him because they've all been told to sign NDAs, the old NDAs again. It's just shocking. I mean, there could be truth in it. He may have done wrong, he may be a bad person, but I've read a 2-page feature and I don't see any truth in there. I don't see any wrongdoing. Surely somebody deserves a second chance or the right to a proper appeal that doesn't cost you money. All I will say, producers, anybody out there, he's blacklisted now. I don't think he should be. He's not a Weinstein, he's not a Rolf Harris, he's not any of those things. Give him a job. In the words of Yozza, give us a job, he needs one. Give him a job. I don't think he's done anything wrong. I really don't. I mean, I've read it and I've read it twice. And I think, well, what is there that shows you the man's going to lose his job? You know, a woman knocks on the door, however young, and opens the door without waiting to be shouted, "Come in." She's done wrong there. She's not told him she's unhappy or upset. She's actually waited a week until she's gone to the producers to voice concerns. Just makes me think there's an agenda against the lad. It does, honestly. Well, anyway, you go. I hope you're telling the truth. I, for one, from what I've read, believe you're telling the truth. I think the person that wrote the piece believes in you. Your wife obviously believes in you. I hope things pick up for you, mate. I really do. I think you've been badly treated, and I think it's PC winning out again. It's crazy.